A very good evening to you from the Colosseum in La Coruña. The men just getting ready for this evening's competition at 94 kilos. I'm David Goldstrom, and sitting right alongside me, David Morgan, Commonwealth champion on 7 occasions, and the man at the top of that start list, Kakiasvilis, twice Olympic champion and the world champion, very much the favourite today to take the European title. He's been European champion before, but he's on the trail of regaining it to capture a 3rd European championship. He's a big favourite, but there are 1 or 2 men, including the Pole, second from the bottom of that list there, Kolecki, who is a young man who's improving and could well become a force. But this is the big champion. Kakiasvilis, 29 years of age. Kolecki Shukov. We were searching for him in the record books and we haven't found him as yet. Bunyami Sudas of Turkey. He's 20 kilos behind Kakiasvilis. And the Armenian, Jakub Piloshan of Armenia. The second of the 2 Ukrainians. Didn't get a total in the European Championships of 1998. Poland, Tadeusz Jajka. And this is the young man I mentioned just a few moments ago. And Germany, Lars Bethke, 5th in 97 in both the World and the European Championships, but not a force last season. So there they are, the 8, and 7 of them with aspirations to depose Kakiasvilis. There are the world records, 180.5 kilos. The world record at 94 kilos, and that's going to be pretty tough to take away.
So the bar on 165. And we're looking at Sukhov of the Ukraine, taking his first attempt. Don't really know anything about this man. Can't find him in any of the books. Really an unknown quantity, but succeeds there with his opening lift.
23 years of age. All we do know, we've raced around. Unfortunately, our Ukrainian doesn't stretch as far as the inquisition of his coaches, so we're just having to suffer a little bit.
Lars Bethke also coming in on 165. He was down to start with 160, so his warm-up must have gone well. Decided to opt for an extra 5 kilos. Takes the wide grip, wraps the fingers over the thumb. It's the buzzer indicating that he has 30 seconds to complete the lift. And that's a very confident start from the German.
Well, the European snatch record set by this man's teammate, Oliver Caruso, who took the snatch gold medal at last year's Europeans, but Oliver absent this year. He's preparing for the World University Games, which Mark Huster was hoping to enter, but was a little too old. But Oliver Caruso isn't, and that's the reason why he's not here this evening. Now the next man, Lars Becker, on 167.5. The board at the moment showing that, but a few changes of mind going on at the moment, David, because this category on...
That's quite right, the bar now going to 170.
I was about to say that Kakiasvilis really is the strong favourite, but having said that, the silver and bronze look extremely open.
Well, Kakiasvilis is down to start on 172.5 on the snatch and 215 on the jerk. But Simon of Poland is also down. Some pretty big openers coming in at 170 and 215. So, in my opinion, it's the pole is dangerous.
Well, this is the Turk, first of all, Bunyami. 8th in the World Championships last year in Finland. Snatched 170 kilos for 9th place. And he's got that with his first lift this time around.
In fact, just looking down the list, David, there's 2 poles in this group, and they both look very dangerous. Tadeusz only weighing in at 91.54 kilos.
Yes, it's the other one, Simon Kolecki, who I really want to keep an eye on, because Kakiasvilis himself has suggested that in time he would be the greater danger. On now to Armenia and Pelosian. So good lift, but early stages in this 94-kilo competition, and so an opportunity to welcome Mark Hooster to the Eurosport commentary box. Welcome and congratulations, Mark. Terrific.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Well, I hope you were with us a little earlier, everyone, for Mark's terrific attempt and terrific achievement to get yet another European title. Mark, though, you were down at the halfway stage by 7.5 kilos behind Georgi Gardev of Bulgaria. What did you think?
Yes, it was very hard for me, because I knew that Gardev is better than me in snatch, but so much. This was a lot, yes, and I knew he is lighter than me in body weight, and this was 10 kilogram for me, and I knew I have to make 10 kilo more in clean and jerk. It was very hard for me in my head, but I knew I have a little chance, and during the competition I saw that I have to take this chance, and I took.
Well, fortune favors the brave. You're certainly brave. And as I said, real pressure, a European clean and jerk record, and you've come into this competition and you did have a different plan, so you weren't 100%.
Yeah, I knew that the first strategy was that I have a competition two weeks later to the Student World Championships in Japan. Now good lift here.
Good lift from Mr. Sukov, who we know little about.
Yes. But after three weeks ago, a teammate of us was injuring, and asked me, please help us start.
Second attempt for Lars Becker, Germany.
And I said, okay, but you know, I missed 2 weeks. And I can't start with my best form. And our leader said, okay, we don't want that you make best result or a new record or European champion, but please, we need you. And I said, okay, but with this result,
big surprise.
Yes, it's really for me also.
Well, here's the second attempt of your own teammate, Lars Becker.
Yeah, I saw him in training camp He's very strong. He had a little bit problem with the traffic to here.
Didn't everybody?
Yes, yes.
That's really good.
Yeah. This is new best assault in competition for him.
Very quickly, because I know you're going to go join Ronnie Ringuth back in the box.
Okay.
Fantastic European record.
Thank you.
Third title.
Yes.
Now, the year ahead, big year.
Yeah.
World Championships, but then, perhaps a bit more important, the Olympic Games.
Yes, yes. This is a very hard way because I become not younger, yeah, and that's why it's every year it's harder to train and to make this result. But this competition was now I can say it was very interesting for me and very important for me because I did a new best result. 387.5 is my best result in international championships. And that's why I have a good motivation for the Athens World Championship and for the Olympic Games in Sydney.
Well, good motivation and our best wishes, and thanks for stopping by.
Yes.
I'm going to let you now because all our German viewers want to hear you and hear your comments with Ronnie, but many congratulations, well done.
Thank you very much and many greetings to your visitors on the TV.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Olympic champion on the platform, campeón olímpico en la plataforma.
A few words from an outstanding champion and an outstanding showman, Mark Huster, who really livens up weightlifting, and you returned with us and David Morgan back alongside me at exactly the right moment for the appearance of Kakiasvilis. Strong man, 29 years of age. 2 Olympic titles back in Barcelona when he actually represented Georgia, and then in Atlanta when he'd found a residence and a nationality in Greece.
Eight seconds.
5. Talk about heart failure. But he's got the first one in at 172.5. And interestingly enough, that was the weight he finished on in the European snatch a year ago. In the World Championships, he actually snatched 180 kilos, and he's probably going to head in that direction. Now, Simon Kolecki, Poland. Now, the reason why I'm quietly excited to see this young 17-year-old junior European champion at 94 kilos last October in Sofia, and third in the clean and jerk in the World Championships. That's his strongest suit, the clean and jerk. So a talent. Good opening lift there. Body weight of 93.48, and that's heavier than Kakiasvilis, so he goes into second place. Oleg Shumek of the Ukrainian third, ahead of Sudas Bunyami. And now Alexei Sukov, and I'm pleased to tell you that we've managed to track down a bit of information about him. He competed in the World Championships in Lahti last year. He was in the B group and snatched 172.5, which is exactly the same weight as he's about to attempt now. And he went on a sequence then of 162.5, 167.5, and then was successful at this weight. But not today.
Movimiento nulo.
So he has to be satisfied with 170.
Yes, as I said, 23 years of age, fourth 3 years ago in the Junior Worlds, picked up a bronze medal in the snatch, and in the same year, 1996, he was third in the Junior European Championships, but haven't seen too much of him. Now Lars Bethke. Germans in high spirits after Mark Huster's success. This man who lives in Frankfurt, former track and field athlete. Lars in the German army.
And this is an extremely good weight for him. I don't think he got anywhere near this last year in the World Championships, did he?
Absolutely not. No, his World Championship snatch was well below that. In fact, 162.5, he was down in something like 14th place.
So even though he fell that 172.5, still adds 7.5 kilos with his second attempt at 170.
Effort. That's why he was smiling and pleased with what he'd done so far, but just a pity he couldn't have gone a little bit further. Now, you mentioned the other Pole, because he's going to come out now to open up his account. This is Tadeusz Drozga.
I'll just emphasise again, he's the lightest man. He's only weighing in at 91. So, I mean, a success at this weight would mean that all other competitors would have to do 177 to go ahead of him.
Now, also, the other thing is he was fourth in the World Championships. In fact, he only missed the bronze medal in the total by 2.5 kilos. The bronze went to Leonidas Kokas of Greece. Caruso was second, and Kakiasvilis was top man. Caruso, though, was top in the snatch with 182.5, 7.5 from that at the moment.
So that more technique than anything else. Plenty strong enough to do the lift, pulls it to arm's length, and then just lets it go out the back.
Jakob Pilosian from Armenia is called second attempt. Jakob Pilosian, Armenia, segundo intento. Szymon Kolecki, Poland, to prepare. Kolecki, Poland.
Jakob Pilosian now. 8th in the world last year overall with 175. That's what he completed in the snatch. Again, coincidentally, that's the mark he's trying to make at this particular moment. And then has one further attempt to go further, providing he's successful.
Takes a very, very wide grip, using the full length of the bar.
Out the back door, and think he's probably got to settle for going for that again.
Yes, and this is it, when you've got such a wide grip, although it's an advantage in some ways, because obviously you don't have to pull the bar as high, it does make it much more difficult holding the weight above the head. So if you do make a mistake, it's much more difficult to stop it going behind.
Tadeusz Drozga, in fact, yes, he's the man in red for Poland. It's his turn. And they need to stop the clock again, because again he's been cheated of 15 seconds there. He's down to 30. He's actually got enough time. A quick operator, but they should have actually given him a full minute.
They've corrected it now.
So he's now ended up with about 1 minute 20 seconds. Very impressed by the direction in which Polish weightlifting's going, and that was agonizingly close. Now that's 2 failures, and those of you who've been with us watching weightlifting will know the sort of pressure that now falls on that man's shoulders, because if he doesn't get it the next time, he can't get a total. And he might be the lightest man, but it's his younger teammate at the moment who's the better of the two Poles. Now Shumak, who's better of the two Ukrainians. This for his third attempt. A 5-kilo increase. Shumak, a bronze medal in '97 overall in the European Championships, but failed to total last year. And he's left with only 1 out of 3 lifts in the snatch phase. Ended up 8th last year in the snatch, but then failed to get all 3 clean and jerks.
Yes, pulls well, but really isn't in any kind of a position to hold on to that bar.
Just went past him just that little bit too much.
Yes, I mean, you've got nearly 400 pounds on the bar. You have to put it in the right place. You have to have everything. You have to have the strength, you have to have the speed, speeding, pulling, and of course the speed under the bar. And you have to put it in the right place.
Now this for the lead in the snatch. We're taking 5 kilos clear, and it's a 7.5 kilo increase, so this is no simple question that he's asking of himself. Particularly when you remember in the World Championships, he only lifted 170 for 9th place. It's only a few months ago.
Well, again, pulling it high enough, but not having good enough technique.
Well, I'm just again wondering about the tactics here and the coaches who should have some sort of assessment of the opposition there, because 1.5, he's got one more try, but quite frankly, a lot of the opposition are falling by the wayside, and he wouldn't have had to go that far at this particular moment to be putting himself in a medal contention. I mean, the man who's in 3rd place at the moment, Oleg Shumak of the Ukraine, has only got 170 kilos. And Bunyami is below him in 4th place because he's that bit heavier. You know, 172.5, 175. Kakiasvilis, 2nd attempt. Personal best is 185. Again, he takes all the time in the world, but he's effective. And 177.5, 5-kilo increase, and he enhances his position at the top. Christos Yakovou there, leading the Greek support team.
Simon Kolecki, Poland, 2nd attempt. Simon Kolecki, Polonia, secondo intento.
Simon Kolecki now to try and reply.
Yes, already had 2 failures.
No, he hasn't.
No, he hasn't been out yet, has he?
No, he has been out, and he's got a success.
Got 172, of course. He's the youngster, isn't it?
Absolutely. You're obsessed by thinking that Tadeusz is going to be the better, and I'm convinced that this young man, so far, I'm winning this argument. As I said, Kakiasvilis himself identified this man as a future threat to his crown. And he stood up with that really well. And that's a bit of relief, isn't it? You can see that there. got out of jail, got away with that.
77.5 kilograms on the barbell.
He's still second because he's that fraction heavier than Kakiasvilis, but he's on his way to a medal.
Bunyani from Turkey scored third attempt.
And remember, he really made his mark in the World Championships in the clean and jerk, so this is very, very promising for the Pole.
But Bunyani is lighter than both of them, 3.24. So if he actually does succeed with this, he'll go into the gold medal position.
Don't bet on it.
Well, it was close.
No lift.
But close is not 3 white lights, it's 3 red lights. And Bunyani misses a medal. And I've got to say, I think the Turkish team got that totally wrong. I think they overestimated. They went for weights they didn't need to go, because the man who's in bronze medal position has only got 170 kilos. And I've got a feeling that if it had been 172 and a half, he'd have got it. Now, having said that, there's still Lucian who's going to come in now, and he's put it up to 180. So this is a 5 kilo increase, having failed, remember, at 175. So this is going for broke.
Yes, I mean, to be fair to him, the failure wasn't due to lack of strength, it was due to lack of technique. So if he hits the spot, this is possible. But as you say, Dave, it is a gamble.
5th he was in the snatch. He managed 175 in Finland last November, but he couldn't do this. But he can today, and that's put a new complexion on affairs. And Armenia now into the lead. And so there are 3 lifts to go.
Third and last attempt. Kakiasvilis, Greece to prepare.
Listen, the Pole has also opted to jump 5 after failing twice with 175. But he also only failed through technical problems, so this is possible.
Well, you're looking at the man who actually was the world snatch champion 2 years ago and the silver medalist a year ago.
Oh, exactly the same as he did on the first 2.
No total. And snatching is his forte, but tonight, I'm afraid, good fortune deserted him. And to be specific, the technique.
Yeah, and it's a shame because look, the weights on locked arms, bags of strength.
So 2 lifts to go now. Pelosian in the lead, 2 men to come, both lighter. So they've only got to take 180 to go ahead of the Armenian. He's 93.52, that's Pelosian. Kakiasvilis 93.30. And Kolecki 93.48. So Kolecki, in fact, if Kakiasvilis gets this, would have to go to 182 and a half if he wants the gold. Five seconds.
No lift.
Well, what I said, David, at the beginning was that I thought this man was the big favourite and I expected him to march forward with some style. You said you thought this was a lot closer than I was reading. At this stage, I have to say, your call much better than mine. because Kakiasvilis finds himself now in second place, and Kolecki going for a new European junior record and being realistic, not going for the 5 kilos. But remember, he's better in the clean and jerk on all that he's done than Pelosian, the man, the snatch. And this will put him right on terms at the halfway stage. Senior silver medal for this. Oh, that's a good snatch.
That was the best of all.
Absolutely nailed it.
Great, it was good.
What a superb piece of positioning. He knew that was millimeter perfect. So, Kolecki, in fact, goes into gold because he's the lighter man, ahead of Pelosian. And so he gets 180, takes the title, and Pelosian in silver and Kakiasvilis in bronze medal position. I think they've all been watching Pyrrhus Demas on television a little bit here, because if you watch him at the end there having a look round, which is the trademark of the great Greek Olympic champion. But the great Greek Olympic champion in this competition is really under pressure now. He's 2.5 kilos down. Kolecki, the young Pole, is in gold. Pelosian beaten by body weight into silver medal position, and Kakiasvilis in bronze with 2.5 kilos to find. And Shumak of the Ukraine in 4th place, only 170. And as I said, I think the Turks got it wrong with Sudas, and if they played it more modestly, he could have been up there in certainly 4th place. But as it is, that's the situation at the halfway stage, and it's the rising star who's challenging the Olympic champion. We're going to catch our breath. The men will prepare now for the clean and jerk. We'll be back after these important messages.
Everything else looks like prey. Hayabusa. From Suzuki.
Have you ever felt the power of real passion? A passion so strong you'd risk anything? These are the songs written with that passion. Songs by artists like Eric Clapton, Texas, In Excess, and The Pretenders. Kiss, Tina Turner, Foreigner, and U2. After the massive success of Burning Heart, Insight brings you Burning Heart 2. 60 more original tracks on 4 CDs or cassettes. Even more powerful, even more passionate. That's over 4 hours worth.
Welcome back to the Colosseum in La Coruña. And whilst the men get ready, we're going to take a little look back to the women's competition earlier today, the 75 kilo competition. Welcome back. Just one lift in the clean and jerk taken by Oleksiy Sukhov of the Ukraine, 190 kilos. Successful at that, and there's a bit of work going on the bar.
That's right, they're just clearing off the excess chalk.
I must say, I've seen a better looking set of weights for an A final.
Yes, they seem to have skimped on the equipment. Yes, they're all different makes of weights as well, which is.
Sukov is, I believe, going to follow himself at 200 kilos. This is the man who was competing in the B group in the World Championships and was a promising junior 2 or 3 years ago.
Well, it looks like the winner of the snatch is coming out on 200 kilos.
Well, that doesn't really surprise me because the snatch is... Well, in fact, he's not the winner of the snatch. He's, in fact, the silver medalist.
Silver medalist in the snatch.
Yeah. He's got 180, but beaten, of course, by the young Pole's lighter body weight. And he's got half a minute to win it. The match guarantees him a total, and at the moment, actually, he's in second place overall because there was a pretty decent performance by one of the Hungarians in the 94 kilo B group ranking competition earlier in the day. That was Zoltan Kovac, who snatched 170 kilos, which was no bad effort at all, and clean and jerk 212.5 for a total of 382.5, and that's the overall target at the moment. Now here's Sukov in for this second attempt at 200. This would only hoist his total up to 70. So he's a man who probably would have been more at home in the B group here than he is in this sort of company.
And of course, weightlifting, about the best total. I know they do have individual medals, but the real world champion is the person who manages to do the best combination. And Kakiasvilis, really known for his strength in the clean and jerk. I remember actually in Barcelona where he was actually 15 kilos behind after the snatch, and everybody had forgotten about him. And then he came out, made up the 15 kilos and broke a world record. So
I think it's also worth emphasising, you talk about the best in the world, but in the men's division, the strength, by and large, perhaps bar China, very much is in Europe. So these European championships are very much of a world standard. And talking of world standards, in the clean and jerk, it's 230 kilos. That's the standard that was put down when this new category of 94 kilos was created a year and a bit ago. And Kakiasvilis is the man who's come closest to it when he clean and jerk 220, which is the current European record. And Szymon Kolecki of Poland, he actually holds the junior world and junior European record at 218. And that's really interesting.
Of course, Kakiasvilis is capable of doing the 230 because in the 92 Olympics, in the old weight class, the 90 kilo class, he actually managed 235. So potentially that world standard should be his.
And there's Bunyami suggesting that he's going to come in at 210, which is spot on. The sheet of paper which we get just about 45 minutes before the competition, which tells us what they are proposing. Now Sukov needs this. He will get a total, but it'll be a better one if he can get an extra 10 kilos on.
That's better. Now, can he drive it overhead?
No lift.
The answer is yes. He can't keep it there.
205 kilograms on the bar.
And at least he's got the total, which is more than he did last year in the World Championships when he failed 3 clean and jerks at 195 and consequently went right the way down the order, which is why we couldn't find him initially in all the ranking lists, because he didn't actually total out in the Worlds. Now Lars Becker in his opener at 205. Lars down in 7th place after the snatch. Four men found themselves on 170 kilos after the snatch, and he was the last of them ranked on the body weight because he was in with 93 kilos 54. Oleg Shumek was the lightest of that quartet with 92.94.
No lift. Movimiento nulo.
2-1 against. Take us through it, David.
Well, he cleaned well, but as anybody who's been listening will know, the bar has to go over the head in one movement.
Now watch this. And that presses out on the arms, and that's the reason why that lift was not good. Pressed out.
Next lifter, Muñani, Sudash, Turkey. Próximo levantador, Muñani, Sudash, Turquía.
Now this is Bunyami of... This is the man who I think they got it wrong with. I suppose on reflection, David, he was trying 177.5, which had he got 177.5 would have put him ahead of Kakiasvilis.
Yes, would have given him the bronze medal. So in hindsight, they actually did make the right decision.
Didn't look like it at the time, but now on reflection, they obviously had worked out the strengths of the other lifters, but their man unfortunately wasn't up to it. Betka. So let's hope he can do this successfully this time.
That's better.
And no problem this time. But of course he's used up one life, which does limit his ambitions in going further. 210, which is where I think he was aiming for. And it might be that 207 is as far that he's going to get. Let's watch this here, pushes it up, but this time, no problem. So question for Betka whether he goes for the 210. Certainly, I think would have wanted that.
Yes. 210 would give him a 380 total, which would be would be another personal best, because he's already beaten his personal best of 372.5.
showing signs of a return to the sort of form he had a couple of years ago, but he's not really going to be a factor in winning this competition. Now, Benyami.
Check.
Half a minute.
Acele! Bekle!
That's a good start.
Very good start.
Oleg Chumak from Ukraine scored. First attempt, primo intento, Ucrania, Oleg Chumak. Tadeusz Jazga, Poland to prepare. Tadeusz Jazga, Polonia preparado.
So the bar remaining at 210 for the first attempt of the Oleg Chumak.
And that's a good lift as well. Chumak, of course, he was fourth in the snatch. And he, the man who failed to register a clean and jerk in last year's Europeans.
Tercer intento para Lars Petker, Alemania.
The bar at 210 kilos. And we think it's for the third and final attempt of Lars Betker of Germany. Remember, already achieved a personal best total. Not really in line for the medals, but in terms of personal bests. And the board has just changed to 212.5 kilos. So either Betker is asking for more or he's retired. So it's now the turn of Pilosyan, the Armenian, who you remember was second in the snatch. Already succeeded on 200 kilos for his first attempt, just to get one in. Taken a very big jump of 12.5 kilos for his second attempt.
Yes, you don't see 12.5 kilos increased snatch, and it's pretty rare in the clean and jerk. Mind you, I think we're questioning in the snatch him getting 180, but he did it very solidly.
This for the lead. And there it is.
2-1 against. They're not happy with that. So again, we need to have a look at this. Is this again a press out?
It looked okay to me.
Well, there's quite a few whistles in the stands around us. Bit of a better crowd tonight. And this will be fascinating to have a look at this again. Real disappointment. Right. Not the best of angles, but let's hope it goes to the front. Well, the feet were still. I was trying to look top and bottom there. What do you reckon? Again, now.
Now. Well, maybe just a slight press out on that left arm, but personally, I'd have given it to him.
Well, you're a generous chap.
215 kilograms.
Unless, of course, he was competing against me.
Have to emphasise, though, that we're that bit further away, and the referees are right, very close, within 4 meters of the lift.
Kakiasvilis. Primer intento para Kakiasvilis. First attempt for Szymon Kolecki, Poland. Primer intento para Szymon Kolecki, Polonia. Turkey to be met.
So the bar now going to 215 kilograms.
And this is for the appearance of the European snatch champion, who also has got a European junior snatch record. This is 17-year-old Szymon Kolecki. That's Betka. There's the Turk, Bunyami. And it's all changed. He's going to come in first at 2:15.
Which means that the Pole, Kolecki and Kakiasvilis want more than 215 for their first.
And the European record's 2:20. That's got to be in danger tonight now. That really has to be in danger. 2:30 the world standard. That's probably safe.
Nice.
Well, that's very good from Bunyami. And zooms him into the lead, goes ahead of Zoltan Kovac of Hungary, who's been leading the clean and jerk, the B group lifter, for quite a while. Šumek's in third, Betka's in fourth place, Pilosan currently in fifth spot. Overall, Sudas now leads the competition with a running total of 385 kilos. And it's Šumek now, the blue and yellow of Ukraine, also going for 215 kilos. Šumek lighter than Bunyami, so this would take him into the lead in the clean and jerk and also take the overall lead. So this is quite nip and tuck. Deep split. And rightfully pleased with that. Good effort.
Yes, always looked very, very strong in the first phase, the clean. Wasn't that convincing on his first with 210, but as you say, David, went into a deep split and managed.
Well, Lars Betka, 10 kilos more than he took the second time, so 215.
And this, if he succeeded, would be a massive improvement on his best total. This would take him to
385.
385, and he had a previous best, remember, of 372.5. So Betka having a really good day.
Well, this for the second spot in the overall title race.
Cleans well.
Again, it was a deep split, and he couldn't quite control it. What a pity, because that got him into silver medal position in both the clean and jerk and the overall competition, and he was so close.
Just cleaned it with room to spare.
Third and last attempt for Kakiasvilis, Armenia. Tercer y último intento para Kakiasvilis.
Just not quite positioned.
Yeah, when he did the split, he was a little bit off balance as well, and that didn't help either. Now, Pilosian Now you can see here he's doing a little bit again here. 212 and a half. Failed at that, but no matter. Let's put it up to 215 and go again.
Yes, and he'll be a bit disappointed with the decision of the referees. Let's see if it works for him or against him.
Yes, this was the man who had that suspect press out on the left arm. So this is effectively 15 kilos up on his first successful lift of 200. Got the clean.
No.
No. Couple of kilos too heavy. And so he tumbles down the order. He's currently 5th in the clean and jerk and 4th in the overall, but he's not going to hold those positions. But he does have the consolation of the silver medal from the snatch.
Yes, this would have put him up to 395.
Snatch is very much his stronger suit. And now Kakiasvilis, 217 and a half, 2.5 kilos below the European record, which he set and holds.
Yes, now watch Kakiasvilis, especially in the second of the movement, prefers to use what we call a power jerk. Doesn't split the legs, just squats underneath the bar.
Set the 220 in the World Championships, the last World Championships. And he uses all the time that's available to him. He's a nightmare for coaches.
Now the power jerk. Look at that.
Well, no need to emphasize that he's suddenly taken the lead in the clean and jerk, gone 2.5 kilos ahead of Oleg Shumek, who's lighter than him, and takes the lead overall. Look at this. This is the different technique here. Chucks it over. Good opener.
First attempt for Szymon Kolecki, Poland. Primer intento para Szymon Kolecki, Polonia. This lifter is trying to establish a new world record in the total.
So now we see the young Pole, who, if you remember, took gold in the snatch, coming out now on 217.5. This would, of course, give him the overall lead, and I believe a new junior record.
217 and a half is actually just below his junior world and junior European record by 0.5 kilo.
In the total, I think.
Apologies there. In the total, he's got a total of 385 is the junior European record.
So this would give him 3.8.
But it's not the world standard, which is 390. Oh. Well, this young man, only 17, but took the bronze medal in the World Clean and Jerk Championships in Finland, and zooms up into silver medal position behind Kakiasvilis in the clean and jerk. But in the overall title race, he's in the lead by 2.5 kilos by virtue of the advantage that he carries forward from the snatch, which of course he won. His advantage from the snatch. Kakiasvilis only 177.5 kilos, and Kolecki 180 kilos. So bit of changing going on here now. And I should emphasize that we haven't seen Dražka at all. The other pole. This is Bunyami. 2:20 to equal the European record. Third and final attempt. $93 kilos 24, so this would take him ahead of Kakiasvilis. So this for the lead in the clean and jerk. And would put him in third place overall, ahead of Oleg Shumak, who currently occupies that position.
Well, he wants it.
He's on red in the petrol tank.
And he's got it. Look at that.
Enough fumes. And he goes into the clean and jerk lead. Gutsy effort, really good. Well, he can easily carry him. He's a lot lighter. Now, look how hard he works here. Now, this is desire.
And I'm guessing that that's way above what he did at the World Championships.
Yes, World Championships, 210 kilos for 6th place and a total of 3.8, and he's got 390. So, as you rightly say, improvement. Shumak now to try and reply. Again, 5 kilos. This would take Shumak to 390, and he's lighter than Bunyami, so this would immediately remove Bunyami from the medal podium, the overall medal podium, and push him into silver medal position in the clean and jerk.
Stop!
Well, he cleaned well, and he tried to go even lower in the split on the jerk, but this time it just didn't come off. So now it's the battle between the two big men, Kakiasvili and Kolecki.
Well, I say that, seen or heard anything of the pole, the very light pole. Dražga Tadeusz.
But he failed to make a snatch, did he not? So maybe he's decided to opt out of the competition.
One can only assume that at the moment, which is disappointing, because I thought he might have at least, okay, fine, he wouldn't be vying for medals, but might have given it a shot, having travelled all the way here. Anyway, this is the business end of the competition now, and this is for a new European record. And that's the record. Takes him to 222.5 kilos, pushes him into golden position, Bunyami into silver, and Kolecki of Poland into bronze, but he's got 2 lifts to come. Kakiasvilis in the overall lead ahead of the young Pole, with Bunyami in bronze ahead of Shumak at the moment.
Second attempt for Szymon Kolecki, Poland.
Well, it's interesting at this stage, though, just to reflect on a few words from Kakiasvilis, as you see in there. He said after Lahti, when he won the World Championship, I expected a much more difficult fight, and I think I'm lucky to be able to win with only 400. Both Oliver Caruso, who of course is absent from this competition, he won the World Snatch Gold, and Kolecki are very talented and will certainly become my major challengers at the next World Championships, even more so at the Olympic Games. In my category, the world standards have not been improved, and I wasn't able to break those marks, but I'm sure that in a year's time, my scores will be higher. Well, this is the young man he identified, and this is the young man who's pushing the standards. This for new junior European and world record. And that's it, 3 white lights, and this young man is on fire. He's currently second in the clean and jerk rankings. That's because he's that fraction heavy, 180 grams ahead, or 180 grams heavier than, but overall he's still got the advantage. Still got those valuable 2.5 kilos ahead of Kakiasvilis. And the two men with 1 lift remaining. So Kakiasvilis 2:25 for a total of 4:02.5, and this is the gamble. At the moment, what he's saying is, I'll lift this, and then I reckon that the young Pole will not lift 2:27.5 or lift any more, and
well, 2:25.
2:25
is what he'll need.
He will not lift any more, in which case Kakiasvilis will be the overall champion and indeed the clean and jerk champion.
Yes, Kakiasvilis is gambling that the Pole will not be able to do this weight in his 3rd attempt. This is the gamble.
Another European record attempt.
Yes, and that bar getting dangerously close to 500 pounds. Just 5 pounds away from 500 pounds.
Well, he said that he was lucky to win the Worlds lifting 400, and now he's really, his words are ringing true. 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6. He has to make this lift. Oh, he hasn't. That is a wonderful performance by Kakiasvilis. And if he scrapes home, it's going to be by the skin of his teeth, David, because it's all down to Simeon Kolecki. Talk about youth and experience. The 29-year-old double Olympic champion, triple world champion, twice European champion. That's the collection of achievements of this man. And now, to be challenged by this young man, 12 years younger, the junior European champion of last October.
Yes, he knows exactly what he's got to do to win. He knows that if he succeeds with this, he will be the overall champion.
This is a 7.5 kilo increase on the kilos he lifted for that junior European clean and jerk effort. But this is for the lot. He's got the snatch. This is for a hat-trick of medals.
And all Kakiasvilis can do is sit and hope.
Deep, pushing. That bar is awful heavy. Yes, he can do it! What about that? A new star is born. Poland take over the 94 kilo class. And a new era begins. What about that, David? You've amazed and impressed.
This cleans well. Has to drive through. That's the only place where he really has the problem, standing up. very good technician in the jerk, drives that bar overhead. And then there wasn't really any doubt from that moment on.
I mean, that really is an amazing performance from that young man.
I suppose consolation for Kakiasvilis is that the European clean and jerk record is still his because he did it first. The 3 golds go to this man, Kolecki.
Yeah, Simeon Kolecki of Poland. What a series he's put together. Now, in fact, I just said that he got all 3. But in fact, he hasn't got all 3 gold medals. In my excitement there, I forgot that Kakiasvilis, in fact, is the lighter of the 2 and got 225. So that, in fact, he gets the clean and jerk gold medal by virtue of his lighter body weight. He's the 180 grams lighter man. So that's his consolation. And also, he claims the European record because he actually did it first, which I find a bizarre and silly rule, because lots of sports you can have 2 people who've actually reached the same standard. Why on earth don't you credit both with the record? It would be far more logical, rather than saying he who lifted it first, he who had the lower body weight.
Yes, but it would get a bit complicated then.
I don't think so. I mean, Kakiasvilis, 93 kilos 30, lifted 225, lighter, and that's why he's got the gold medal. And there you can see it confirmed on the screen for yourself there. But Kolecki's not going to be disappointed with that at all, because he's had a terrific evening. And Kakiasvilis now realizes that Kolecki has arrived a little earlier than he expected. He was suggesting that he was going to arrive in 6 months' time for the World Championships, but he's turned up here and he's turned him over. Quite frankly, he really has turned him over. Sudas there, good to see him getting a bronze medal. He's improved some 10 on his World Championship effort there, and he's going to be pretty happy with that. I suppose the only thing that Kakiasvilis now knows is exactly what he's got to do. He's had the warning, and if he wants to make it a hat-trick of Olympic victories, then he's got to go to work.
Yes, he's going to have to reach his best lifts of 185 and 235.
Well, the Greek group don't seem to be too unhappy, but the Poles got to be delighted with this once again. And it is the sort of age where improvement can come very quickly. He's quite cheeky, isn't he?
Once just looking up at his teammates in the order,
suggesting that he might have told them that at breakfast this morning. What a good effort. And it's great to have new talent.
of course.
Number 1. He is number 1.
Youth versus experience. Youth wins on this occasion.
And the confirmation of the result there, Szymon Kolecki with 180 kilos by virtue of lighter body weight, taking the snatch gold, the clean and jerk silver, for a total of 405 kilos. An absolutely tremendous total there. Kakiasvilis having to settle for second place, and Sudas of Turkey into the bronze medal, and that's really good. He actually finished 20 kilos behind Kakiasvilis in the World Championships, so you can see for yourself he's got 7.5 kilos closer in these Europeans. And then Shumek of the Ukraine, who was always lurking around 4th place there, missing out on the medals by 5 kilos, Oleg Shumek. And that's much better than last year's Europeans, when he didn't even get a total. Well, still Bulgaria dominating the medal table, as you can see there, thanks to the efforts of their boys and girls, and it really is a all-round team effort. And with Bulgaria hosting the European Championships in Sofia next year at the end of April, the empty houses that we've experienced here in this giant Colosseum indoor bull ring, I don't think we'll have any troubles there. I think they'll be fighting for the seats, David. Well, there's Kakiasvilis, overall silver medal, but there's the champion, and we're going to leave you with his picture. For myself, David Goldstrom and David Morgan, thanks for your company. A very good evening to you from Spain.
Las medallas estarán presentados por Mr. Yanis.